Everyone, welcome to Social Equity, where I show you how to turn content into profit. I'm so glad you're here. I'm your host, Sophia Spallino, and if you're watching this, you're watching the replay of the live show that happens here on Instagram at 12 p.m. every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, every single Wednesday. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be teaching you on how to create a brand identity that feels good for you. So a brand identity that aligns with you. This is going to feel like a little bit of a college class. You're going to get so much value. Grab your notebook and start taking some notes, because today, when you leave this free live training, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I learned so much and I can implement this right now, because I'm going to be revealing the secrets to building a brand that literally hacks psychology with color. So let's get into it. I've got my laptop because I've got so many notes. I'm so freaking pumped. Tonight in our live coaching call in the PPB program, we're going to be going so much more in depth in this. This is just touching the tip of the iceberg, but we're going to learn so much right here, right now, about how to create the brand identity that feels good to you. But first, I want to share a story. So many of you know that I'm a lesbian, and I was raised in the South where it was just not safe to be gay as a kid at all. Not safe. You would get signs, and you would get signs from authority. You would hear words from older people that just made it not safe for you to be here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Who's going to be my note taker today? Who's going to be like, I'm writing down all the key points Sophia says and going to be sharing them as she says it so people can actually see it here in the comments? Who's like, I want to be the note taker? I'm the note taker. Hey, Chris. So who's going to be my note taker today? Someone volunteer as tribute. While I wait for that volunteer, I am going to continue sharing this story, because I think it's so important, first of all, that you realize the power of telling stories, and you realize that it's safe to be you as you build your brand. Because today we're going to be talking about developing that brand identity and hacking it with color. But you might feel like maybe there's parts of you that you can't share in your brand, and that's just not the truth. So I need to explain. Okay, Chris says she's got it. Thank you, Lexi. Okay, so here's the deal. I was told it's not safe for you to be gay in lots of ways. But I was explicitly told, like, you won't make a lot of money being gay. You won't be blessed by the Lord. I was told things like people won't want to work with you if you show that you're too gay. Oh, Kelly's taking notes. Awesome. Can you share some notes with everyone as you take them? Drop them in. Drop the key points. That would be amazing. I love it. Hello, Soul Coach Chris. Hello, Kathy. Kelly again. Celine. Hello. Okay, so I was told all of these bullshit lies, and I want you to think about, like, what's the bullshit lie? Because in order for you to become your full potential and share your brand and develop your brand and the identity that your brand needs to be, which is fully you, in order to get to that place, you've got to uproot all the lies. So there would have been a part of me that, like, 2 years ago wouldn't have felt safe to have my nails painted, as I call it, pumpkin spice gay. But yesterday I was feeling so sick. I was like, I don't feel well. I'm going to sleep. And when I woke up, I was like, I'm going to go get my nails done and just rest. Close my eyes, get my nails done. It's going to make me feel better. And it totally did. And look how pretty they are. They're pumpkin spice gay. I took every fall color of the rainbow and put them on my nails. And I'm sure there would have been a time where I'd have been like, it's not really safe for me to do that, because maybe people wouldn't want to work with me if they saw that, like, I'm really gay, right? I'm getting so pumped up and warm. I gotta take the vest off. Maybe there would be people who would be like, I don't align with you. That's fine, though. What we learn in the way of the profitable personal brand, as you learn in the PPB program, is you don't want to work with clients that are not your ideal clients anyway. You want people who love working with you because you're you. That is what happens when you build a profitable personal brand, where people know, like, and trust you. So it only makes sense for me now to be the most me I can be, which means go and get my pumpkin spice gay nails. All this to say, today we are going to be talking about color theory. We're going to be talking about color psychology, and I'm so excited to teach you. But before you can even begin to adapt what I'm sharing with you and implement that into your brand identity, you've got to make sure that there's nothing holding you back from being the fullest of you that you can be. So that's why I share that. Okay, so how do we create a brand identity that feels good to us first? Because when it feels good to us, it translates on camera. It's going to mean being your most colorful self. It's going to mean picking colors that truly feel good because you naturally wear them. Like I naturally wear a lot of hunter green. Like if y'all saw how many cargo pants I have that are hunter green, like it's insane. If I like a certain outfit, I'll buy like 5 of them and wear it over and over and over again. One for different days of the week because I tend to just wear the same thing I love over and over. So like I know I love wearing these colors. I want you to ask yourself, what colors do you genuinely enjoy wearing? What colors do you genuinely feel look good around you and your coloration? So since I was little, something my mom would tell me is like, oh, I love when you wear plum eyeliner. And so it got me thinking like the colors that look good on me are olive green and plum. And that's how I begin to craft this. But there's so much more that goes into it than that. So first think about what feels good on you. The next thing that I want you to do is think about color psychology. And maybe color psychology is something that you've never thought about before. And I took some notes. I have a little summary on it. So I want to share with you color psychology because you can actually hack your way to having people perceive your brand a certain way. Isn't that crazy? Like, do y'all want to learn how to hack people's psychology with color? Who here wants to know how to do it? What colors they would use to do it? How this all works? Drop me some hearts if you're like, yes, I need to learn this. I want to learn color psychology. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome. Got so many people coming in. Okay, so the first color that I'm going to discuss is red. And my notes on red is like passion, energy, love, aggression, excitement. Red is super bold. So if you're wearing a lot of red all the time and this aligns with your brand, maybe you're a dating coach, this would be like boom, passion, energy, love, aggression, excitement. What about blue? Blue is almost the opposite. Blue is calm. Blue creates trust, serenity, stability, intelligence. So think about the brands that you know that use red and think about the brands you know that use blue. Who wants to drop some examples of brands that use red? Drop me some below. Little TXS says she's in red now. Awesome. What brands do we know that use red super heavily? Drop them in. I'm going to go first. I can think of Target. Target uses red. Yes, 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 yes. What else? What else uses red? A lot of the dating coaches that I know and love use red in their branding. Let's see what else. We've got different food places that use red. So passion, energy, excitement. Energy and excitement is what comes to mind when we think of Target. When we think of the dating coaches, that's like the love and the passion, right? Now what about blue? Blue. We can think of the biggest tech companies in the world, like Meta. At one point, Twitter was using blue. Oh yeah, we love some Canes. So Coach Chris says, Canes. I'm from Louisiana, and yeah, Canes is definitely a thing here. But blue, calm, trust, serenity, stability, intelligence. So these companies that are tech, they're focusing on representing trust because you have to give a lot of data, right? When you use a social media platform, and stability and intelligence. Yes, okay. Trish says Netflix uses red. Trisha says Netflix uses red. YouTube uses red. I love that. Yes, because that's energy and that's excitement. And then we've got the blue, which is trust, okay? Facebook, Twitter. There may be other brands that you can think of, like different clothing lines that may use blue compared to different clothing lines that use red. Like think about the different vibe of the clothes. Okay, then we've got yellow. Yellow is happiness, optimism, clarity, warmth, creativity. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, Chris is going to be dropping in some notes here. So happiness, optimism, clarity, warmth, creativity, that's yellow. So what can we think of that shares happiness with yellow? What can we think of that shares optimism, warmth? Something so simple, but like something that like takes us back to like nostalgia of like the good old days when it was first built, is like McDonald's golden arches. Like they're yellow, and we don't love McDonald's now, but right, like it is still like nostalgic, and it's like, oh, that's a peaceful thing. Like it takes us back to that place. Happiness, optimism. I see a lot of life coaches using yellow. DHL, yes, DHL does use yellow. And honestly, optimism and happiness isn't what people think of when they think of shipping. And so it's kind of like hacking your brain, like, oh, we're going to like let people realize like they can be optimistic. Their things will actually get delivered and not get lost in the mail. Like these are little ways that our brains are being hacked by color. Okay, what about green? Nature, growth, renewal, health, harmony. That is what it exemplifies. So we can think of a lot of healthcare companies or like integrative medicine doctors that incorporate a lot of green in their branding. Can you think of anyone else? Starbucks, green branding. Health, harmony. Like, I think for Starbucks, it's kind of like your one peaceful thing to the start of your day for the 9-to-5ers that run to get their Starbucks every day, right? So it's like this moment of serenity before the day starts. That's what I think of Starbucks. But healthcare professionals, I like to think of green. I do associate it with like growth and cash. And I like to think of cash months rather than just having a business that makes a lot of revenue and not a lot of cash. So to me, green represents cash. And that's one of the reasons I wanted it in my branding, cash and growth. And I love wearing green. I love all the different variations of green. Okay, what about orange? What can you think of when it comes to orange? Huntington Bank uses green. Soul Coast Church says yes, yes, yes. Love that. Growth. We definitely want to think of our accounts growing when we go to the bank, right? So that would make a lot of sense. Okay, orange is enthusiasm, playfulness, energy, creativity, warmth. Where do we see orange in branding? Where do we see it? Yes, it is vibrant and refreshing. You know, I'm actually thinking less, for me right now, like I'm blanking on what's orange. Give me some ideas. Nike, yes, that is it. So it's like refreshing, playfulness, energy. When we think of Nike, we have to think energy. Just do it. Let's go. Love that. Yes. What about purple? Royalty, luxury, spirituality, wisdom, creativity. Purple. One more time. What comes to mind? What does it hack our brains for? Royalty, luxury, spirituality, wisdom, creativity. And for me, that's why I love purple. Purple represents luxury. And I want people to see that, like, I'm not just a coach that works with anybody. I'm a luxury coach because I'm going to get you luxury results. So purple is so in alignment with me, and I feel like it vibes with what I naturally wear. So that is why I choose purple. Now, when you put purple and green together, I feel like it's just hacking. It's just the growth. The growth so you can live a luxury life. The growth you need so you can live a luxury life. That is the hacking that I'm doing with my personal branding. So now think about, okay, what happens when we put two colors together? And start to let your wheels turn. But again, what brands do we know and love that use purple? I can think of just like the podcast app. Just the Apple Podcast app is purple. And spirituality, wisdom. Every time I turn on my podcast app, I'm going there to get more wisdom. I'm going there to learn something. So that comes to mind really quickly. Let me know if you have others. Okay, and also like the Instagram app uses a good bit of purple, and that is creativity. That is, creativity. Okay, let's jump into pink. Pink is love, tenderness. It evokes feelings of femininity, compassion, playfulness. Pink. The brands that we see use pink, like a lot of clothing companies. Again, we could see it used in dating that's targeted towards women. I wouldn't necessarily say men because of how we're programmed to think blue is for boys and pink is for girls. Although, as we've seen, blue represents so much more and represents like peace and stability. But I do still feel like because of how things are specifically marketed to women, that pink is still pretty exclusively representing women's products. Yes, Barbie, iconic. So femininity, compassion, playfulness. So if you're a life coach of any sort and you want to use like peach hues, pink hues, that compassion is the undertone there. Compassion is the brain hacking. And connecting to people, it's important to show like you do have empathy, you do have compassion. So if you are in the coaching industry, maybe using hues of pink would be something beautiful, or maybe going with a peachy orange, but still pink undertones, and having this blend of enthusiasm and warmth, but also compassion and tenderness that comes from pink, and the enthusiasm and the warmth that comes from orange. So you see how these start to work together. Okay. Next, there's brown, stability, earthiness, reliability, warmth, comfort, stable. We see this a lot also in organic packaging. We see this a lot with people who want to have right now, because brown is trending, a very modern, stable, simple aesthetic. We're seeing like deep browns and cream tones. So that's something you could think of, and that does represent stability and reliability. So I am loving that for the coaches who are leaning into browns. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Can you think of any brands that are using brown? I'm gonna lean into black now. Black is elegance, mystery, power, sophistication, formality. I can think of Prada, Chanel. We think of a lot of luxury that uses black. So I have friends who are in the coaching industry, and they strictly stick with black and white, and they're only attracting very, very high ticket customers. People who only appreciate the simplicity. I love that. So Coach Chris says UPS uses brown, stability, reliability. Yep, those are things we need to think of when we think of getting our packages to us in a timely way. We can rely on them. So black is a bit formal, sophisticated, powerful, could represent mystery too. If you're leaning into some sort of soulful, spiritual coaching, you could use black. White. White represents purity, cleanliness, innocence, simplicity, and peace. Can you think of brands that use white? I can think of like Dove soap is everything's very, very white. Oh, just a little turquoise says Mercedes-Benz black. Yes, absolutely, luxury. Okay, but white, the brands that use white, purity, cleanliness, innocence, simplicity, peace. We see this in a lot of spiritual marketing. We see it in what do we call them? Like the goods that we use to take care of our bodies, soaps, and we see it in more spiritual coaching as well. What about gray? I can think of one company that uses gray so freaking well. So freaking well. Apple. Neutrality, balance, timelessness, conservatism, sophistication. Neutrality, balance, timelessness, conservatism, and sophistication is gray. So something that's just going to continue on and be very neutral. Very neutral. Everyone needs an iPhone. Very neutral. Doesn't matter who you are. Very neutral. We all need it, right? This is something that we all need. It is actually could be hacking the brain that like you need this thing, you need to invest in it, even though it's not timeless. Even though it's not at all. Even though Apple tricks us to buy a new iPhone every year. So that'd be a really good example of how the gray does make us feel a level of sophistication of if we hold this phone in our hands, we're more sophisticated. And even though it's not timeless at all, it makes us feel like it's timeless, and they could trick us into buying in more every single year, right? So gray, neutrality, balance, timelessness, conservatism, sophistication. Okay, what about gold? I love gold. And even though gold isn't one of my iconic colors, I only wear gold. I don't wear silver. Why? Well, it looks good on my skin tone, but I love what it represents: wealth, success, luxury, prosperity, elegance. So we see a lot of gold foil in marketing. What if you primarily use white or a cream and you overlay a lot of gold? Really represents luxury. We see this in a lot of clothing labels. We see this in a lot of luxury coaching as well in the business world. We see this in life coaching, where I see women sharing like inner gold. Spas use gold. Absolutely, spas use gold because it is luxury. I love that. What about silver? Silver. Now this also goes back to Apple too, because Apple silver, gray, almost the same thing. But it represents modernity, futurism, big one for Apple. We're on the leading edge. We're on the leading edge. Grace, innovation, technology. These are all things that Apple's been able to represent very, very, very well. What are other brands that you can think of that use silver? I want to say Tesla is silver. Is Tesla silver and red? I'm not a cars girl, but the modernity, futurism, grace, innovation, technology, that's huge. We're the most innovative. We're the most technologically advanced. Okay, turquoise. What does turquoise hack our brains to think? Calm, communication, healing, refreshment, protection. So we can see like the blue and the turquoise that is definitely used in our communication apps. We think of blue, we can think of healing. This could be used in healing branding. This could be used in spa branding. This could be used in any sort of practitioner's branding who's helping you heal something in your body. Calmness. Think of the sky. And lastly, lavender. Lavender brings us to romance, delicacy, relaxation, femininity, grace. Lavender is romance, delicacy, relaxation, femininity, grace. So if you're leaning towards a very feminine brand, lighter on the lavender. And you can see a lot of brands in the past 2 years that are super feminine had started using lots and lots of lavender because it became like one of Pantone's colors, most popular colors. And they kind of dictate what's really cool. So for those of you who don't know, I studied marketing and fashion, which plays heavily into what I teach now on how to attract people to like, no, trust you, buy from you. And for so long I thought, how's my fashion degree going to play in any of this? And it turns out I took so many design courses, so many communication courses, so many color theory courses, and it all adds up. Nothing is wasted. Okay, so now we understand what these colors hack our brains to think. so we can get people to know, like, and trust us for exactly what we want them to do, right? But now you might be thinking, how do I choose? How do I choose my colors? My first word of advice is don't choose colors that you genuinely don't like having around your body. So I would ask yourself, what are the colors I genuinely like to wear? And then beyond that, what colors do I like to have around me? What colors make my skin tone look good? Then once you gather those colors, then, because this is a personal brand, you're not building a product that sits on a shelf. You are going to be on your content. If we were building a product, I'd say it doesn't matter what you like, but in this case, to build a profitable personal brand, or as I like to say, a PPB, you need to be wearing your colors, or you need to have them around you all the time, so it's important that you like them. Once you dwindle down to the colors that you like, then look at what they represent, and you choose off of color psychology what you feel is going to be best to attract your ideal client. What feelings do you want them to feel? What's the vibe? When they step onto your Instagram page, what's the vibe you want them to feel? You get to choose that. Just like when someone comes into your home, you get to choose the vibe, you get to choose the energy. That's how it feels when someone comes onto your Instagram page. So pick that vibe. So maybe you've narrowed it down to red, orange, and blue. You like those colors on you. But now you need to look at the color psychology and decide, okay, how do I want them to feel? Then from there, choose your first primary color. Now then you're like, Sophia, what color accents the primary color? For those of you just joining, we're talking about hacking your brand identity with color psychology today. And we are pulling this from the PPB Blueprint Foundations pillar. I'm so excited to be sharing these secrets with you. Are y'all picking up what I'm laying down? Are y'all thinking about your colors? Who wants to drop the colors that are coming to mind right now where you're like, these are my options? Start dropping them. I'm really curious. Who's like narrowing down their colors right now? Who's narrowing down those colors? Who's starting to get their wheels turning and going, okay, this makes sense. I like to wear these colors. Now I'm going to narrow them down. I'm going to look at the color psychology and decide which one is going to make the most sense to get my ideal client to feel a certain way about me, to like, know, and trust me. Okay, you already have your colors, just a little turquoise. So share with us. I'm assuming turquoise is in there based on your name. Hey, Anato. Share the color that you're thinking of now. To whom do I give advice? I give advice typically to women who want to build profitable personal brands, who already have a career but they are just tired of being in, or that they have not built their own business. They've always worked doing something they don't love, but they're ready to do something that they love. So you could be starting from the ground up, or you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a fitness instructor, but you're just tired of doing it in real life and you want freedom and you want to build an online business so you can work from anywhere in the world and travel and truly build a profitable personal brand and be able to pivot into anything. Those are the women that I help. KM Pro. Okay, so just a little turquoise says turquoise and purple, okay? Kelly says blue, green, purple. These are my colors. I wear them all the time. Okay, love that. So now that we know we've got some colors, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to choose your secondary color, because you might be thinking, well, Sophia, how many colors does my brand identity need to have? And there's going to be a lot of different theories on this. I'm just going to say it feels really good to have two primary colors. Later, you can have variations of those colors, because sometimes, you know, something's a little too dark up here and I need a lighter purple to show up here, so I'll choose a lavender. But primarily, I've got a plum and I've got a deep green. So how did I get there? First of all, I decided that I wanted a really deep green. Okay? I'm going to show y'all my screen. Now, if you're on your phone and you want to access your computer right now and take a really good note, or actually Chris who's taking notes, drop this link in the chat, canva.com/colors/color-wheel. canva.com/colors/color-wheel. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So I want you to pick the color that you're like, this color has to be in my branding. Okay, so Kelly, pick green, blue, or purple. What is it? And I want you to find that exact color on the color wheel until your screen becomes the color that's here. So see, like I'm like, what green is my green? I'm going to find it about right there, right? I could even type in my exact hex code right here. If you have an exact hex code of the color that you love the most, you can go ahead and put it here. But what's really cool is as I move my color wheel, nope, that's not the green I want. Now watch how that purple changes on the bottom. The perfect green for me is here, so this means my perfect secondary color is going to be a plum about that. Does that make sense? It is opposite on the color wheel. Now, I love design, so whenever I was choosing these colors, it was natural for me. I naturally know like what comes opposite on the color wheel, and it just made sense for me. If you need a tool to show you, you pick the first color. So Kelly, if Kelly's choosing a blue, and she's like, this is my favorite color, blue, her secondary color, orange, is going to be populated right there. All for her. Okay? Now, Kelly, if you hate orange and you're like, I wear purple a lot, choose your favorite color of purple. What is it? If your favorite color of purple is that, then your green's going to populate about right here. If you choose green and purple, you're able to have both. But what happens is blue is going to be too close to green on the color wheel, so it's not going to be a complementary color, no matter how we dice it. But I'd invite you guys to play with this on, again, it's canva.com/colors/color wheel. Okay. We've got Irini saying maybe black, yellow, and green. I would invite you to choose. Yellow and green are going to be very close together, Irini. So choose yellow or green and then look at the opposite color. And you can also see how you can include black in that, but you'd want to choose a paler green or yellow. Thank you, Chris, for dropping. Okay, Kelly says she's leaning green. Yes, it's fun to play with. Okay, awesome. So now we understand secondary colors. Let me go ahead and just pull up a color wheel of secondary colors for you guys so you can see this. Because it's really cool when you can see it all laid out. I love color theory so much. Okay. So you can see right here exactly the opposite colors. And so if you're like, oh, my favorite's green, then no, you're going to land over here. If you're like, oh, my favorite's blue, no, you're going to land over here. But when you use that Canva tool, you literally get precise to the exact color code. You get the opposite. So that's why I recommend using it, because like right here, this type of green wouldn't have given me the purple over here. It required having a deeper green, and I can only see that if I'm using the color wheel. So you choose your favorite shade. Your favorite shade, you find that first, and then you find the opposite. Your favorite shade that you love to wear, then your favorite shade that out of those options, you can choose the color theory, the color psychology. So you're choosing like, what are people going to think when they see this color? And you land on that favorite color. And then to get your secondary color, you're going to use that wheel. So you understand the order of operations. What colors do you like to wear? Funnel that down into what color will represent your vibe, the way you want to make people feel with the color psychology. Once you've got that, you pick your exact shade, and then you're going to get that secondary color using the Canva wheel. And that's how you're going to choose your brand colors. How amazing is that? Like, it takes all the guesswork out for you. Okay. And the last thing that I want to share today is typography. Because, y'all, I've seen some people. I've seen y'all use like 50 different fonts on one graphic. And I'm just like, no, okay? So hear me and hear me well. For those of you listening, coming in for the first time, I am teaching how to create a brand identity that feels good for you using phase 1 of the PPB Blueprint, my 5-phase blueprint that will help you build a profitable personal brand in 6 months or less. Today, we're just taking a page out of phase 1 and talking about how to hack the brains of your ideal customers to know, like, and trust you, and for you to feel good in who you are when you show up and embodied in your brand. Embodied, it's who you are. It's not hard. It's not difficult to show up. It's authentic to have these colors around you. It just makes sense. That's how it should feel when you're building your profitable personal brand. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about typography. And we're not going to get into like theory of typography, okay? But let's just keep this real simple. Your brand, if you want to get crazy, you can have 2 fonts, but really 1 font in one weight and the variation of that font in a different weight, meaning it might be a little thicker on your headlines, a little thinner in your body text. So like a headline is something like that's bold and on top of the screen. Maybe you want to use all caps, but your body text is just a lighter weight, meaning it might be slightly thinner, but it's the same font. So that's the simplest way to make very, very clean branding. Other than that, you can choose an accent font. For me, my accent font is Couture, and that just screams luxury, and it's like the same style font as Chanel. That's what I've been using, but I use Couture. And then I also have a font that I like whenever I want something to look like I hand wrote it or signed it. So depending on your brand and how personal you get, which I recommend you do because you are building a profitable personal brand, you choose a kind of handwritten font. A font that feels like it might be like your handwriting. That's your style. Like if your handwriting was that good, what would it look like, right? That's the vibe. But other than that, I want to remind you, I don't want to see all 4 of these fonts all at one time on one little square on your Instagram. That's going to look so messy. I want to see your main font and maybe 1 accent font. And your main font should be really simple, really clean. Your accent font can be more modern, more bold. And then the personal brand, personalized font that you want to use when you're writing something out, when you want it to look like you're actually writing on the screen, or you just signed something, choose a cursive font that aligns with you. But truly, all in one square should not be more than 2 fonts. It starts to look really messy when you've got so much going on at one time. Now, for the incredible women here who are in the PPB already, tonight we're going to be going so much deeper into the foundations of building a profitable personal brand with the color psychology, fonts, and even getting into the elements of design. If you're like, Sophia, I've always wanted to work with you, now's the good time. You're in the right time, in the right place at the right time. We're offering access to the beta program, which means the women who join the PPB now, when we launch the official PPB program in January, they're getting crazy value now because I'm already coaching starting tonight. That means you get over 3 months with me. 3 months with me, bi-weekly coaching you in a small, intimate group of women before the program actually starts in January. And when the program starts, you'll get 6 months with me. So this is almost 9 months of working with me to help you build your own profitable personal brand starting in January in 6 months or less. but because you would be coming on in our beta period while I'm actually building out the program, you would get access to me now. Not just access to the foundations. Access to the foundations. I have women in the program now who are making $5,000 to $20,000 a month and going about to hit 30, and they need help polishing their offer suite. They need help scaling their business. And I'm able to support them because they can come in live in our coaching calls every other Wednesday. Plus, I offer daily support inside of our community group where I'm able to answer your questions so you don't get stuck and you don't fall off the bandwagon and you actually make progress. Yes, Kelly says this is fire. Looking forward to tonight. I'm excited. I'm looking forward tonight too, Kelly. I can't wait to see you in PPB and our live private coaching calls where you can ask me very detailed questions, and I actually audit your content, audit your offers, audit your sales funnel. I cannot wait to see you guys in the program. And if you are curious about this, I want you to DM us Blueprint now, and we will share with you the blueprint that we are using to walk women through building their profitable personal brand in 6 months or less. We will share the blueprint with you for free. For free. I just want you to see it. And you know what? You'll decide if we're a good fit to work together. We'll decide if we're a good fit to work together. But either way, you will get access to the blueprint that I've used to build brands in less than 6 months and help some clients even grow over 100,000 followers on Instagram. Helped other clients grow 30,000 followers on TikTok. Helped other clients make $5,000, $6,000 in their businesses when they never had before. DM me Blueprint now, and we would love to send you this free resource. Now, this is not just a free resource. Plus, we just revamped it. Me and the team have been working on revamping the blueprint. The tea is hot. Like, maybe you're like, I got the blueprint before, but like, I want the new revamped blueprint. While it's hot off the press, DM us Blueprint. It is wild. You are going to learn so much. It is literally a checklist of what you need to do in order to succeed on the internet. And you know what? I think that's where we get stuck the most as entrepreneurs is we're like, what do I do next? And then we're like freeze because we're like, but if I don't know what to do next and I just like do things, but they don't make sense and it won't get me anywhere, then you just get frustrated. The blueprint exists so you can't get frustrated. So you keep making progress. So you actually get to the life that you know you deserve. I figured it out in 18 months, but it took me over 8 years in the industry. I want you to be able to do this in 6 months or less. And we've designed this program for you to be able to do it in 6 months or less because there's so much less trial and error. Like, I had to do it with trial and error. We're handing you the keys to the kingdom. It's like, follow this, post this, succeed. I want the kind of women who come in, because this is not a get rich quick scheme, okay? Like, you do have to put in the effort. My gosh, you got to create good content. You've got to know who you're serving, but we point out everything you need to ask yourself in order to build your foundation for your business. We point out every step in the process of creating high quality content that's going to convert. We point out every step in the process that's going to help you create offers that are irresistible, that people really need, and how to position them to actually be sold while you're sleeping. Now, how do you sell things while you're sleeping? We actually give you the keys to the kingdom with the automations and systems and processes that you're going to need in order to have a business that thrives while you're not actively working. The blueprint teaches all of this, and the program walks you through it step by step so you do not fall off the bandwagon. I would love to be your coach. If you feel like, Sophia, I want to work with you. I didn't think I could afford it before because, look, I'm not a cheap coach, but I've developed a program that I now can serve so many women. So I've been able to develop pricing that is more affordable than any offer I've ever had before. So if you been like, Sophia, I've wanted to work with you, but I thought I couldn't afford it. Guess what? You probably can now. DM me Blueprint and let's talk about it. DM me Blueprint and let's talk about it because now the offer for beta is just freaking wild. because you're coming in before the program starts. You're getting more bang for your buck, and it's less buck than it's going to be when the program actually launches. I cannot wait to have the women in this program in January and see what happens in just a few short months. Because there have been women who have worked with me and in just 2 weeks brought in thousands more dollars. Oh my goodness. How do you like the mug? It says, I just look straight. This was my merch whenever I was like doing mostly lesbian content. I just look straight with my super gay nails. Okay. I've so loved having you guys here. I cannot wait to see the women who are going to be coming into PPB during our first live coaching call tonight. And just so you guys know, you can come in now and not miss anything. Whatever we discuss tonight, well, first of all, if you're like, this is for me, I want to come in right now, you can get in time to come into the coaching call tonight. And 2, all of our replays are going to be recorded for you. How cool is that? So you will not miss a thing. And I offer help and support every single day in our community group. So there's so much that can be done between now and January. And then when the program actually starts in January, it will last 6 months. 6 months. That is 9 months of working with me. If you're interested in this at the most affordable price that I've ever offered this before, and like, just be curious. Like, just DM me. Just DM me Blueprint. I'll get you some more information, and then you can decide what's right for you. But I know that if you're still here, you feel something in your soul, and you're like, this is my time to do something different. This is my time to truly build the brand that I've always envisioned having for myself. Maybe you look at people and you're like, you know, that coach is really popular, but like, I'm smarter. I have better tools for people. So then I would ask you, why not you? Why not? If you know it's like, okay, it's my time to do it, but I just need to know how, I want to give you the how. DM us Blueprint now, and I'll get the new revamped Profitable Personal Brand Blueprint that gives you the exact 5 phases and checklists to build your own profitable personal brand, just like the one I have here today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this live free teaching on color psychology so you could hack your way into the minds of your ideal customers and sell to them. Meet me back here next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I'll be teaching you with another Social Equity Live where I teach you how to create content that turns to profit. See you next week.